Welcome back to one of the interviews we have been given to the authors of the book The Mind of the World Philosophy Day 2019. Today we are with Dr. Latif. He is one of the authors. Welcome, Doctor. Thank you for being here with us. He wrote a paper which is part of the book called A Reflection on the Perspective and Theories of Organization and Management. Doctor, how does the Faculty of Business and Management help to create a better world?
Thank you. Business is part of the activities that are performed by people in the world. And we have seen from the perspective of economists, if you look at the theories of economy, they always emphasize competition. And to that extent, I think they're talking about competition for the scarce resources. But nowadays, we have seen a very different trend. We have seen that many companies are basically cooperating. So we see a different perspective now in business. Rather than emphasizing competition, no doubt competition is still there, but the emphasis now has gone towards cooperation. I think the understanding is that we have to survive together. In the end, I think probably we are driven by certain sentiments where countries tend to compete against each other, and then this one translated into businesses, and they are competing in the zero-sum game. But now we are talking about a win-win cooperation. So to that extent, I think business school will help basically inculcate this kind of new philosophy that in order to survive together, we need to work together. So I think that will lead again to prosperity and as well as peace in the world.
When you say business are trying to work together or collaborate to survive together, what does that exactly mean? What do you mean by survive?
Partly I think the why business have to work together in order to survive, because things have changed so much. The technological changes have become so quick to the extent that no one company or no one individual company, even nation, can do it without working with others. It means that we have to work together to develop products or services using the technology that are emerging and changing so quickly. And not only, of course, technology, but of course, people attitude, people preferences have changed so much to the extent that no one can understand those unless they work together to understand. Work together not only between people, but between disciplines of knowledge.
Okay, let's put an example. Nowadays, we are in the Industry 4.0, right?
Yes.
That is something that we have been talking about nowadays. Nevertheless, I think that a new industry will shows up, which is the 5.0, that it's related to blockchain technology. I think that the same way internet changed the whole world, it will be doing also by blockchain technology, because this is a new kind of internet, we can say.
Yeah.
So in this context, using this example, how do you explain to us this collaboration between business to survive these new challenges?
I'll give a very good example of what we are doing right now here with respect to blockchain technology. For example, in the past, what happened is, we train the students in our universities, and then after they graduate, they will go out and look for potential employers. But today what we have done is, this is where working together and cooperation means. So universities have to work together with the students and also with the potential employers. So what we have done with blockchain technology is, we give the students we allow the student to develop their resume or their CVs that would appeal to potential employers. And when put this up in a blockchain, so that no one can change a thing and the thing will remain there forever. However, we work with the potential employers to have access to this blockchain. And so you can see that we use the blockchain technology in order to bring the three parties together, the universities, the students, and the potential employers. So they benefit from this blockchain technology. This is where collaboration, cooperation happen using the emerging technology, which is a blockchain.
This is a really interesting topic to me, and more that I am talking to the director of the Center of Research to Management and Business, right?
Yeah.
Because I realized that this faculty is using, we can say, universal principles about how you understand or try to understand how nature works, because everything that surrounds us, every entity is a system. It is composed
exactly.
by a lot of little entities or little other parts that try to work together and maintain, preserve the system. So you try to use the same principles for business.
Exactly.
That is what management is all about. But with these all new trends, with this all new technology that is creating only one nation, we can say, only one citizenship, because we have, when the time passes, we have less boundaries. So do you see any changes in the future for management the way you are using it today?
Yeah, there are different ways. Whatever recent changes that we have seen affecting business and management. By the way, I wrote that article in the book, which basically is a perspective which is systemic. It talks about the evolutions of organization and management, starting with the rational system, where we tried to, businesses in the old days, they tried to make sense of the world that was not very orderly, and they came up with certain systems or certain principles which are rational. So they're talking about a very formalized form of organization, which is business. Then the next stage is what we call the natural system. Apparently, although you mentioned about this, I think in the questions you mentioned about the fact that we are talking about business, but business is only one form of organization. We also have other types of organization out there, and what we are seeing is business cannot run away from the other entities, the other organizational entities. For example, the rational system insists too much on formalization, but what we have seen in many businesses today, sometimes the business they move away from the formalized goals because of the pressure from the environment. That's what I'm leading to. In fact, the last system that we have is called the open system. That talks about how organizations need each other. It needs to work with the environment to acquire resources and also to give back to the environment, to the society. So this is in the context that you were asking about how organization make itself comfortable or be relevant to the environment. Yeah, you're talking about the.
That is a really good answer and really interesting because, for example, in one of my companies that works with blockchain technology, we offer the service worldwide, and we need to create, because it wasn't that way in the earlier years. We need to create new methods to start working with the compliance department of each country.
Yeah.
And now we can use platforms where we can put our equity ownership of the company with shareholders worldwide.
Exactly.
So this is an entire new way to manage business. and not just business, but technology and all what arises with this in the changes to society. So that is, you're giving the right answer.
The point is, I think we are seeing a much more complex world, and we have to be more ready for that. I think that's one of the roles of business schools or business and management faculty like we have here, is to prepare students to go and meet a very different world, different from what we have seen before. For myself, for example, I went through a business school and we were taught certain ways, but most of those things are almost totally irrelevant today. We are talking about universal values that appeal to everybody in the world. If you want to become relevant or you want to be successful in business, you must be able to engage everyone in the world, because the market is the world today.
Totally agree.
Yeah, we must work with everybody. We must know the rest of the world. We are no longer confined to the national boundary or to to our local customs. So we have to be ready. And of course, the technology is coming in, and every time we have to be ready, to understand the new technology and to use technology to our advantage.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really happy to be here, because I've seen from the first hand how we are making a bridge, between Eastern and Western, because as I was talking to the previous university officers, is that the more people you offer a service, the more problems you solve, the more market you have.
Yeah.
So in nowadays, with a globalized world, it's easier to do that. It's easier for anybody around the world to have an idea, put it on the internet or the blockchain technology, and to reach out a lot of people worldwide. So that is really important. And I want to ask you, how does this faculty of business and management, now in your point of view, because I already answered my point of view, but in your point of view, how can bridge peace and harmony worldwide?
Yeah. As a faculty, of course, one of the discipline itself has moved and has developed according to whatever changes happening in the world. So we are basically exposing our students to the new realities, and this will help them to
adapt.
Yeah, to adapt to the world, and even to adapt to the different customs and different preferences in the world, I think. And in the end, this is a process where we bring people together, and that's probably will lead to peace and harmony. But at the level of faculty, for example, we are working very closely. Of course, this day you don't even have to be there, but we are working closely with different institutions in the world and work together to develop research, to develop general principle and understanding about business and the world. And today, business problem is not simply business in nature, but is societal in nature. And to that extent, when we solve business problem, we tend to solve the general problem of the society. We're talking about hunger, maybe. We're talking about exploitation. Because in business, we talk about how through this so-called outsourcing, there is a tendency for business in the past to outsource to a least developed country, and to the extent that they might exploit the locals by giving them a very low wage and also maybe by just exploiting all the natural resources there. But today, I think most businesses understand that you cannot do that. I mean, because you are always in the limelight. People know whatever you are doing, and you must you must understand that you are not just there to exploit people, but to provide the means for livelihood for these workers, for example. And in the end, you prosper together. In the sense that with the contribution of the workers, the company might be able to come up with good product and generate good income. And in the end, it is shared by everybody. I'm talking about multinational corporation, for example.
Thank you for being here with us, and Dr. Latif. This was a really good interview for me. I am really eager to every time understand more about these new practices of management and business worldwide. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate your invitation.
No, thank you. And I invite you all to read the book and the paper of Dr. Latif, which is inside, and see you next time.